The small town of Hallowridge had always been shrouded in whispers and half-forgotten legends. The kind parents told children to keep them from wandering too far into the woods that ringed the town like a jagged crown. Autumn had arrived, bringing with it the scent of decaying leaves, the chill of nights that crept into bones, and the silent, menacing rustle of the cornfields that stretched endlessly beyond the town limits. Evelyn, a young botanist drawn to the mysteries of plant life, arrived in Hallowridge under the guise of research, eager to study the unusual patterns of growth in the local crops. She rented a small, creaky cottage near the edge of the largest cornfield, and the townsfolk, with their wary glances and clipped speech, seemed almost relieved she wasn't a permanent resident. But there was a strange tension in their eyes, a warning hidden beneath polite nods, and Evelyn, eager to prove her scientific skepticism, dismissed it as superstition. The first night in the cottage was quiet, except for the whispering wind and the occasional caw of crows circling the fields. Yet when she awoke at dawn, she noticed something odd. The corn nearest to her window had been cut in intricate patterns overnight, shapes too precise and deliberate to be random. Curious, she ventured into the field, camera in hand, documenting the carvings that spiraled in complex geometries, and though she felt the prickling unease at the nape of her neck, she told herself it was pranksters, children perhaps, playing tricks under the veil of night. Over the next few days, the patterns grew more elaborate, and Evelyn began noticing shadows that lingered just beyond her vision, silhouettes moving in perfect silence among the stalks. On a particularly foggy evening, she saw them clearly for the first time. Figures cloaked in tattered garments, faces hidden beneath hoods, hands clasping sickles that glinted in the dim moonlight, moving rhythmically as if performing some ancient ritual. Fear prickled through her, yet a scientist's obsession rooted her in place, and she followed them deeper into the fields, documenting everything, until the shadows turned abruptly toward her, hoods flinging back to reveal hollow, skinless faces, eyes black voids burning with unnatural hunger. Evelyn ran, heart hammering, lungs searing, but no matter how fast she sprinted, the field seemed endless, paths looping back on themselves, until she stumbled into a clearing where the air was thick with the coppery scent of blood and the ground littered with skeletal husks of previous victims. At the center of this grotesque altar was a massive, gnarled corn stalk, pulsating as though it were alive, roots twisting into the earth, entwining the remains of those who had dared trespass. The cult-like figures circled the stalk, chanting in a language that rattled Evelyn's sanity, and with each word, the corn seemed to grow, twisting and swelling with grotesque vitality. One of them approached her, and in a voice that was both seductive and horrifying, whispered that the harvest required a soul to maintain the cycle, a ritual to sustain the town's prosperity that had long been hidden from outsiders. Evelyn realized, in paralyzing terror, that she had become the chosen offering, the final component to ensure the harvest's completion. In a desperate attempt to escape, she remembered an abandoned irrigation ditch she had spotted on her initial exploration. Slipping through the twisted labyrinth of stalks, she dove into the narrow channel, water freezing and biting at her skin, and crawled for what felt like hours, emerging near the edge of the field just as dawn broke. Exhausted, bloodied, and shaken, she returned to the cottage, but the townsfolk greeted her with hollow smiles, eyes glinting with the unspoken acknowledgement that the cycle would continue, that she had survived only because the harvest required her observation, her witness, to perpetuate the legend. In the following nights, Evelyn documented everything in secret, noting the rituals, the patterns, the transformations, the way the stalks seemed almost sentient, but she dared not interfere again, for she understood the delicate balance that existed between the town, the harvest, and the unseen force that demanded tribute. Her reports, sent to scientific journals under her real name, were dismissed as fanciful tales, yet every autumn, as the wind swept through the cornfields and the crows circled ominously above, Evelyn knew she would return, compelled by both fear and fascination, watching the sinister dance of the harvesting unfold, aware that the town's prosperity, her own survival, and the lives of countless others depended on a cycle she could never fully interrupt, a secret woven into the soil, hidden in plain sight, as inevitable as the changing of seasons.